Community hoping for answers nearly a month after Harley Dilly disappeared.
We miss him.
Overnight, investigators looked through an abandoned home across the street from where he lived.
Harley, come home. You have a whole community supporting you. Just come home.
The latest on the search for Harley right now.
19 News has been on the scene here in Port Clinton since we first broke the news that there was a large police presence in the neighborhood of missing teenager 14-year-old Harley Dilly. Thanks for joining us. I'm Damon Maloney.
I'm Neha Curtis. This story developing pretty quickly. A lot of new information coming into our newsroom right now. We do know that police came out of that vacant home with a lot of evidence. And Damon, one piece of evidence catching everyone's attention is this. The Toledo Blade posted this photo. The Blade reporting seeing an investigator working on the second floor of that abandoned home. You can see in this picture that parka they're talking about, looking at a red parka. The Blade writes, in a room upstairs, they could be seen examining a hooded red parka that hung from the top of a closet door. Police have said Harley was wearing a red parka at the time of his disappearance. Now, police, however, they're not commenting if that parka is connected to Harley. And Damon, you're live at the Port Clinton Police Department trying to find out more information. Police really staying very tight-lipped about this.
And they have for the entire investigation since it started back on December 20th. As you mentioned, we're outside the police department. We do know that at noon today, right here, that the chief, Rob Hickman, is going to update the investigation related to the disappearance of Harley Dilly. A lot has happened since yesterday when we first broke the news that there were state and local investigators searching a home that is located really across the street from the Dilly residence. We want to show you some of that footage that our news team got. Police activity again in Harley Dilly's neighborhood. This is East 5th Street in Fulton here in Port Clinton. We do know that investigators from the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation was at the scene. We saw investigators taking photographs, fingerprints, and removing evidence from the home. What that evidence is still unclear this morning. The police department not releasing those details. We put together this map to kind of give you a better perspective of this neighborhood. This is a very small town, population of about 6,000. Everyone really invested in finding Harley, who again went missing on the 20th of last month. Around 2 o'clock this morning, we did see a van back up to this home, this abandoned home that was being searched for many, many hours. We believe it was from the coroner's office, but we have not been able to confirm that with investigators. There were other vehicles blocking this van as it backed in, and then it left maybe 10-15 minutes later, and we are awaiting information on that. We want to recap here. Harley been missing since December 20th. And he was seen leaving his house, supposed to be going to school, the Port Clinton High School, but he never made it there. Multiple agencies, including the U.S. Marshal's Office, the FBI, and many, many others have been involved in this search. The chief saying thus far through social media and other news conferences that the parents, Heather and Marcus Dilly, have, quote, fully cooperated with the investigation. This past weekend, that is when a volunteer search for Harley was going on. There were about 100 volunteers, and that same day, Harley's parents gave a brief news conference. Now, one of the many questions we're going to be asking today is why the focus, of course, on this abandoned home across from the Dilly residence, and was there this type of scrutiny when the teen was first reported missing? So those are two major questions we're going to be asking the chief about today. My colleague, Nyorkor, is in the neighborhood where a lot of people were gathering. There were prayers. There were a lot of tears, Sia.
Yes, Damon, you talked about that vacant home. It is right here. You can see that police cruiser still sitting there. And as you can see, it is right across the street from where Harley Dilly was last seen. Now, here's what we can tell you. 19 news cameras were rolling as investigators combed through the home, gathering evidence. Now, dozens of people from the community gathered and held a vigil, lighting candles and saying prayers for Harley Dilly to be found alive. Just before 9 p.m., police sent a release to the media saying, quote, at this time, Harley Dilly is still missing. Many are holding out hope, including those who knew him.
He wasn't outgoing. He wouldn't come to us, but he would help the team a lot. And
he was a great kid, and me and him especially, we miss him. I mean, we were close to him, and we talked to him all the time.
Damon, police left this scene just after 3 a.m. where dozens of people gathered, again holding hands, saying prayers, hoping for some good news about Harley Dilly. When we get more information about the investigation, we'll make sure to push it on all of our digital and social platforms. Damon?
Thank you very much, Sia. And we know this morning we are monitoring the Port Clinton Police Department social media accounts, also relatives of Harley Dilly. There are a lot of rumors going around this morning that there was a body removed from that abandoned home. We have not been able to confirm that with the police department. Again, the official word from them, and that came late last night, is that Harley Dilly is still considered missing. You know, Neha, I just want to read his mother's note to him. She posted this on social media late last month, several days after he was reported missing. It was a very lengthy statement, and she said here in one part, Harley, if you see this, please come home, call someone, let us know you are alive and safe. Many prayers continuing this morning despite the large police activity, that Harley is found safe. We'll be out here monitoring the situation throughout the morning. Neha, back to you.
All right, thank you, Damon. It has been 3 very long weeks for everyone following this. We know so many of our viewers have been invested in this case as well. 19 News, the first to break this story on our free 19 News app. Look for continuing coverage with any new developments. We will send that out to you on a push alert. We'll have live updates throughout the morning. We have a lot of new information coming in.